Get inside and lock your doors. Close your windows. If you can get out of town, get to the old church. It's the only place left to go.
Single location stories are set in, well, one location. The fewer the locations, the cheaper it is to make your movie. Your crew doesn't have to move around every day. And because all the activity is concentrated in one place, you get more work done faster. You can shoot a full-length feature film in fewer days. The problem is most cash-starved filmmakers have access to the same locations everyone else has: apartments, abandoned buildings, supermarkets, restaurants, or parking garages. You see them in every movie. So how do you make them stand out when there's hardly any money for it? I'm Sarish Sudhakaran, and in this video I'll show you some cool techniques John Carpenter uses consistently to get great production values from his locations. He's one of the greatest filmmakers ever, and the ideal director to study if you want to make your money go a long way. He shows us how to make low-budget movies look a lot more expensive than they really are. What are his secrets? The single greatest trick I've seen him use is incongruence. Incongruence means mixing together things that don't mix, that don't gel well, and they raise questions subconsciously. Take an ordinary apartment. Look at the walls and furniture. Can you figure out the geometry? Can you figure out what circumstances made this room the way it is? Or how about this scene? Make a mundane wall a complex thing, and this draws in the eye. You don't know why you're staring at it, but deep inside your brain is trying to make sense. His simple advice: fill up empty locations. Escape from New York came before Blade Runner. Blade Runner had a huge star and lots more money. Escape from New York was made on a shoestring comparatively. Yet, John Carpenter finds a way to create the same atmosphere. Here are the budgets and box office numbers for both movies. You get the idea. Be your own production designer. Fill up locations with incongruent details. Then there's always lighting. His frames have loads of shadows, but incongruent shadows. He isn't afraid to put his actors in total darkness for long periods. The simple rule is hide the bad parts and throw light on the good parts. Shooting at night helps too. He made these gorgeous frames with low ASA film stock. Today even the cheapest DSLRs can do better in low light. He uses double tone colors all the time, and they are rich and saturated. You'll find a blend of two colors, primarily red, green, or blue. He swings big, and it makes his locations a lot more interesting. Now we know why. When there's no money to show large sets, matte paintings are used, like this shot. The helicopter was shot in LA, while the buildings are painted by a person who goes by the name of James Cameron. You might have heard of him. Today with 3D graphics programs, you can create locations for cheap and then composite them with the live action footage. We call these set extensions. Why hide your low budget locations when you can get creative? John Carpenter shoots in anamorphic, which has the distinct ability to widen the frame horizontally to show more of the background. His locations are always important characters in their own right.
Mac!
They take a life of their own because he has given them life. Want to know another secret? You can be very economical in filmmaking if you stretch out a scene for as long as possible. This doesn't mean letting the camera running for nothing, but to construct a scene so there's always something happening, where there's stories within stories. And you can go a long way. Not only do you build tension, but you need fewer scenes for a feature film. Another way to save money. By throwing in regular people stuck in locations they can't get out of, he creates a pressure cooker kind of situation. In some of the stories, the characters can't leave permanently. In Dark Star, they're 20 years out into deep space. In Halloween, it's their own home and neighborhood. In The Thing, you leave and you destroy the human race.
How will we make it? Maybe we should.
Then he adds a time factor, the deadline. There's always a night that has to be overcome. The villains are always logical, mostly human. Even in The Thing, it takes on a human form.
I know I'm human. And if you were all these things, then you'd just attack me right now. So some of you are still human.
Mike Myers is a human being. What is consistent about the villains are they're almost always dehuman inside, like the gang members in Precinct 13. Dark Star, Halloween, and Precinct 13 are the go-to movies for ultra-low-budget filmmaking. John Carpenter usually has an exposition scene explaining the geography of the location, so that when the events happen later on, you know exactly where you are. He involves you in his storytelling. He doesn't hide his locations, he's proud of them. And you can be too. Always have one cool gag up your sleeve. Even with an extremely low-budget film like Dark Star, it has an elevator scene. How the hell did they shoot that? Both E.T. and The Thing were released the same time, but which alien is cooler? Or take the opening scene from Halloween. Simple, but masterful. He uses in-camera effects whenever possible. Some of them directly inspired movies like Star Wars and Alien. And to top it all off, there's the music. His own music. He uses music to give his scenes another dimension. He was one of the pioneers using synthesizers to create background scores. Once you listen to his work, you can't get it out of your head. He has inspired Quentin Tarantino and Hans Zimmer. Do I need to say more? And the last secret is to simply add other locations to richen things up. Today, with cheap cameras, you can steal shots anywhere, or ask for favors for a couple of hours.
What?
Put that camera back up, roll it.
It's not gonna do it, Dan.
Don't give me any lip, okay? Just roll it, make sure it's pointed in my direction.
Set your scenes in cars. Some of the car shots in his movies are just gorgeous to look at. He uses simple camera moves, static shots, sometimes a simple slow pan, and sometimes a steady cam. See, when you're the real deal, you don't need gimmicks. John Carpenter's progression as a director is reflected in the budgets he had to work with. He's a master storyteller, and these techniques can be used by anyone who wants to raise production values on a shoestring budget. Hit like if you enjoyed this. These videos take a lot of time and energy to make. Without your continual support and encouragement, they won't exist. Please subscribe for more cool videos like this one.
Let there be light.
Doolittle says that he's assuming command of this ship, and I say he's exceeding his authority because I'm the only one with any objectivity on this ship, and I should be the one to assume command. Now, I'm filing a report on this to headquarters, because there's a lot of... I went up to Doolittle in the hall today.